Hello, dear friends. It's day 3. We are back. Today is a special day. It's April 23rd, and it is Shakespeare's birthday, or Shakespeare's presumed birthday. And I'll explain why, because there is no clear record of his birth date, like there's no birth certificate with a date on it. However, at the Trinity Church, Holy Trinity Church in Stratford-upon-Avon, on Wednesday, April 26, there was a christening in the parish register, a baptism of a child, newborn, called William Shakespeare. So the assumption is that he was a few days old, and therefore historians have decided that it's April 23rd, his birthday. Incidentally, that is also the day he died. Therefore, today I am going to read from Shakespeare. But it's another day as well today, and it's St. George's Day. And it's also known as the Feast of St. George, and it is the feast day of St. George as celebrated by various Christian churches and by several nations, kingdoms, countries, and cities, of which St. George was the patron saint, including England, most so, even though it is believed that the actual person who was St. George was born in Cappadocia or Asia Minor. Maybe he was Armenian, who knows? Anyway, the regions that celebrate St. George's Day include Portugal, Spain, Catalonia, Aragon, of course, and he was Lithuania, Palestine, Moscow, Istanbul, Genoa, Venice, all of these countries, and of course in Armenian, in the Armenian church as well, Surp Kevork St. George is also one of the accepted saints, and Mar Girgis, which is the Egyptian equivalent, and therefore today is also the name day for all the people who are called George. Therefore I congratulate all the Georges, Kevorks, Jorges, Giorgios, Georges, Girgises, and everyone who has a name that emanates from George or is a variant of George. I also would like to mention the sweet memory of my dear uncle Kevork Eksercan, who also was a George and who also passed away in April 2005. Therefore, today, April 23rd, is celebrated as the special St. George Day, as one of the most popular saints in Greece. I forgot also to mention Greece and Romania, Catalonia, I mentioned that already, Turkey, Syria, North Africa, etc. We are all very familiar with the image of the warrior George as a knight on horseback spearing a dragon. And that's George, St. George, who slays the dragon. Now that we have mentioned the two occasions, today's program, today's readings are not going to be very long because I'm preparing a longer session for tomorrow. Tomorrow being April 24th, the commemoration of the Armenian genocide, already the 105th commemoration, of which my grandmother was a survivor. And we will go into that more in detail tomorrow with further readings, mostly from Armenian poems, Armenian poets, and their translations in English for the benefit of the non-Armenian speaking audiences. So today I'm going to read you two pieces. One of them is again from Robert Frost, who I read from The First Day, and it is called The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not take both and be one traveller. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Next, I chose sonnet number 18 for you from Shakespeare, since today it is his birthday. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in its shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. And to conclude, I'm going to read a poem as a prelude to tomorrow from Sojourn at Ararat, Poems of Armenia, compiled and edited by Gerald Papasian. Let's see. I'll open a page by chance and read whatever comes up. Well, it came up, Your Memory, which I read 2 days ago, but I read it in Armenian and in French. So why not do the English version now? Your Memory, Vahan Tekeyan. Your memory tonight painfully rears, as if you secretly return to claim again your nesting place within my heart after these years. Your face in my mind's eye, voice in my ears, I feel your throb in my blood's pace and sense the softness of your breath. I burn as if you touched my cheek with tears. Past hours of hours surge in me one by one. A caravan of stars stray back with stealth, lit with a glow that I thought spent and done. Your memory makes me so rich, gives me such grace, that I would willingly share out its wealth to comfort all the wretched on earth's face. Thank you all very much. Bye now, and I'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget to stay healthy, take care of each other, your loved ones, be home, and enjoy some things that you can enjoy at home with your loved ones, just as I am doing. If I were all over the place roaming around, I was not going to have any time to do these recordings. So there's always an upside to it. And happy St. George's Day to all the Georges, Kevorks, and Jorges in the world. And happy birthday to Shakespeare.